One Kiwi woman's harrowing survival after a fatal hyena attack in the Botswana wilderness. By Miri Connors, Field Dispatch, July 2025. Mon, Botswana. She sits across from me in the corner of a dusty bush lodge, the fan rattling overhead, her cane resting against the wall. Her left hand bears deep scar ridges. Her gait has a permanent limp. But it's her eyes, sharp, dark, and tired, that say the most. The boma wasn't enough, and Africa doesn't care what you think is enough. Her best friend Christine, 66, didn't survive. We wanted real Africa. Lee and Christine had been friends for over 20 years. Both widows, both fierce in spirit, they booked the trip as a kind of last hurrah. They'd avoided package tours and Instagram-ready lodges. This was to be raw travel, camping near the edge of Chobe National Park, close to the border with Namibia. They were seasoned travelers. Lee had camped through Mongolia. Christine had crossed the Andes at 60. People think at our age you're slowing down, but we were just getting louder. They built a thornbush boma around their tent, following local advice, kept food sealed, water hidden, and a fire low. It'll keep the hyenas out. What they didn't expect was the elephant. On their third night, shortly after 2 a.m., they were both jolted awake by a deep, rhythmic thud, the kind that moves through the earth before it reaches the ears. Lee said it was like thunder, but slower, heavier. She just knew it was an elephant. A massive bull, later estimated to be over 50 years old, emerged from the brush. Lee says he didn't charge, he just walked through the boma as if it wasn't there, splintering thornwood, flattening their gear, and grazing the edge of the tent before disappearing into the dark. The boma collapsed. Their protection was gone. They didn't sleep. Lee said, "He'll come back." But it wasn't the elephant that returned. The laughing death. Lee remembers the sound, a yelping, whooping laughter coming from the brush. Lee said, "People say hyenas laugh. It's not funny. It's cruel." A clan of over 20 hyenas, drawn by the elephant's chaos and the scent of broken skin, descended on the camp. There was no warning. 1 minute we were holding torches. The next, Christine was on the ground, screaming. Lee tried to hold her, tried to drag her back inside the tangled tent, but the hyenas were coordinated, silent, fast, and brutally efficient. One bit through Christine's calf, another tore at her shoulder. They ripped her from Lee's grip. Lee said, "They were feeding while she was still alive, and I ran. I left her. She doesn't cry when she says it, she just blinks slowly." Rescue and remains. Lee staggered 5 kilometers barefoot, bleeding, before she collapsed near a mopane grove at dawn. A local herdsboy found her and carried word to the nearest ranger station. She was airlifted to Mon District Hospital, suffering severe blood loss, puncture wounds, and psychological trauma. It took 11 days before she was able to speak. Christine's remains were found over a wide radius. Scraps of clothing, bone, and a single bracelet still clasped to her wrist. Lee said, "Don't trust the fence." Lee now walks with a cane. She no longer hikes, no longer camps. The woman who once refused to carry a cell phone now triple locks her door at night, but she speaks clearly when warning others. A fence, a wall of thorns, a zip tent. It's nothing to Africa. You're in their home. And if you're lucky, you leave with a scar. If you're not... She pauses. The rest doesn't need saying. A memorial in the dirt. There's now a small metal plaque fixed to a broken boma post nearly hidden beneath dry leaves. It reads, "Christine, 66 years strong, gone under a red moon." She didn't scream, she roared. Lee hasn't been back. But she says quietly, "I hear her sometimes. Not in nightmares, just in memory, like she's still warning me." Final words. When asked if she'll ever travel again, Lee answers without hesitation, "Yes, but not like that. Never like that. We thought the boma made us safe. It only made us feel safe."